You know, sometimes less really is more. We live in times where football games keep stacking features on top of features, more button combinations, more skill moves, more complicated mechanics. But despite all of that supposed innovation, or perhaps because of it, the end products are often lackluster football games. So it's very refreshing to stumble back onto a game that reminds you that the magic of football doesn't come from gimmicks. It comes from the way it feels to play the game. And for me, an example of such game is FIFA 14, because I think its beauty lies in its simplicity. At first glance, yeah, it seems underwhelming. A bit dated graphics, slower passing, shooting that lacks punch. But this first impression hides its appeal. See, no driven passes means build-up becomes an art. Clunky dribbling forces you to actually outthink defenders. And that slower pace? Well, I think it reveals midfield battles modern FIFAs ignore. So yeah, this isn't just simplicity, it's different philosophy when it comes to football game. One where build-up and positioning matter more than constant action. And when it clicks, well, that's when you discover one of football gaming's hidden gems of 2010's era. Oh, and by the way, if you don't actually have FIFA 14 laying around, that's not a problem. I've dropped the link in the video description to a store that I've been using for months now to get old Pro Evo and FIFA games. Prices aren't dirt cheap. And yeah, sometimes he runs out of stock, but unlike some sketchy random key websites, this one's been rock solid for me and for people in my community who used it. So, if you want to jump back into FIFA 14 after watching this video, you know where to find it. Alright, we will start with the most important part of the game, the gameplay. Because this isn't just another old FIFA. It's almost like EA took a detour here, trying something different. And whether you love it or hate it, you gotta respect it. First off, pace. FIFA 14 is slow. Some of you may see it as sluggish or perhaps clunky. Players don't zip around like they are on ice skates, so that's a plus, but then sprinting feels heavy. Even quick players like Messi or Ronaldo don't just burst past defenders effortlessly, well, unless it's computer on the highest difficulty. And I think that changes everything. In modern FIFA, you can ping-pong passes at lightning speed, abuse skill moves, and rely on pace to bail you out. Here, I think you need a little bit more of skill to achieve similar effect. Because if you try to play this game like you play newer FIFA, you'll get punished. And see, while this different playstyle brings novelty for sure, I think it can feel really clunky over time. FIFA 14 often has these moments when I feel like my inputs don't translate on the screen as I would expect. And that makes the game feel frustrating, especially with true balls with the gameplay mods that I tried. Speaking about passing, this is where FIFA 14 really stands out, for better or worse. There's no driven pass here, and so there's no way to artificially speed up play with laser-guided passes. Instead, you've got to think about your passes and consider their limitations. Distance matters, direction matters as well. Even the receiver's body position matters here, so it's a little bit more complicated than in usual FIFA games, especially with Dr. Plus gameplay mode, which I think nerfed true balls and made them less accurate. Then we got shielding, which is quite essential in FIFA 14. L2 isn't just a fancy trick here, it's a survival tool in the middle. Hold-up play is actually useful, just like in real football. It's a slower, more methodical way to play, and honestly, I kinda found it refreshing and interesting. Because as a result, the midfield actually matters in FIFA 14. Now let's talk about shooting, because this is where FIFA 14 struggles. Long-range bangers just don't feel as satisfying as they should. The ball physics are a little floaty here, and they have this weird acceleration that we've seen in FIFA 16 as well. And also the sound design doesn't help shooting, the shots simply sound really flat here. But then we have headers, and I think those are quite broken, and in a good way. Crossing is actually very viable tactic in FIFA 14. Big strikers like Zlatan, Mandzukic or Diego Costa feel like monsters in the box. And I think that's rare in FIFA games where heading is often underwhelming. Then we have penalties. Man, I think those are the best penalties I've seen in a football game until now. The system is a perfect mix of a skill and randomness. The keeper doesn't just auto-save the ball just because they guessed the direction right. It's about power, placement and timing for both kicker and keeper. I think it's tense, it's fun and it's way better than in other games. And you know, seeing how fun penalties can feel in FIFA 14 made me realize how this element of sport is basically an afterthought in most footy games, which is a shame, isn't it? Now let's move on to another element of footy games which can make or break them years after release: available mods. Basically, FIFA 14 is incredibly well modded game. If you're playing on PC, you've got some amazing options to bring this game into the modern era, or take it back in time. First up, we've got the Infinity Patch. This thing brings FIFA 14 to the 2025 season. New faces, new kits, new rosters. It's basically a time machine for people who love FIFA 14's gameplay but want today's squads. Then we have the Definitive Edition mod, my personal favorite. This keeps the original 2013-2014 season but improves everything else. Better graphics, improved physics, new menus, even a fresh soundtrack. It's like FIFA 14 but more. And if you are a nostalgia junkie, which I guess is quite the case on my channel, the classic patch is just insane. We're talking about teams from the 1910s up to the 2000s. Want to replay perhaps the 2005 Champions League final with actual 2005 Liverpool and AC Milan? No problem, you can do that. It's a football history lesson in a video game and I think it's freaking awesome. And you know what's the best thing about it? Whichever mod you choose, they are all of really high quality. Plus, there are actually more mods available for this game. These three are just my personal favorites. So if you enjoyed FIFA 16 modding for instance, I am certain you're going to love messing with FIFA 14. Personally, I spend most of my time with Definitive Edition and that's because of how cool 2013 and 2014 season was. You know, it was a season where major leagues served up absolute fire. Let's start with La Liga, where Atletico Madrid did the unthinkable. They broke the monopoly system. Simeone's team played with this terrifying mix of discipline and passion, proving you could outfight and outplay the giants. Meanwhile, Cristiano and Messi were rewriting the rules of what attackers could do in the game, but this time they had to share the spotlight. Over in England, Luis Suarez decided that the Premier League was his personal art project. The man was unstoppable, scoring every type of goal imaginable, while Hazard announced himself as Chelsea's new magician. And PSG? Well, we've got Zlatan, who was scoring ridiculous goals while barely breaking a sweat. It was crazy year, man. We've got even Bayern, who didn't just win Bundesliga that year, they assassinated the competition completely. That March title win wasn't just dominant, it was a historical statement. So is FIFA 14 worth your time in 2025? I think the answer to this question depends primarily on how you feel about gameplay style in FIFA 14. If it seems sluggish and unresponsive to you, then you're probably not going to love it. But if slower, more deliberate tempo and movement is something you've been craving, then I think FIFA 14 is a great pick. Personally, I liked it, but sometimes I was getting annoyed with the clunkiness of controls. It's not my favorite football game of all time, but I respect and appreciate what it goes for. I think that at the end of the day, FIFA 14 is a game that respects football. It doesn't hold your hand, it doesn't give you easy wins. It makes you work for every goal, every win, every moment on the pitch. So yeah, FIFA 14 isn't the most explosive football game ever, but it is one of the most interesting ones in the series. And if you're tired of the same old FIFA meta, the same broken mechanics, the same recycled gameplay, maybe it's a great time to go back to FIFA 14, to slow down, to appreciate the beauty of simplicity. Now, I want to know, what do you think? Is FIFA 14 a hidden gem, or perhaps it's too slow and too clunky for your taste? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more deep dives into classic football games, smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. Anyway, that's all from me in this video. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.